Welcome to the Tekken 7 Charater Spotlight featuring Noctis Lucis Kylum. Crown Prince and heir to the throne of Lucis, Noctis comes to Tekken 7 to wreak havoc to his enemies, wielding the power of the Lucian kings, allowing him to control spectral weapons and elemental magic. Noctis is a well-rounded character that does exceptionally well in the mid to long range. Capitalizing on his opponent's mistakes with good use of movement and pokes, Noctis can be a force to be reckoned with. One of the best whiff punishers in the game, great for characters that intentionally whiff moves like Asuka, Master Raven and Xiaoyu. His moves have insane range, great for space control. Easy execution, great for new players. Simple and effective wall carry. Many of his moves are unparallelable with the exception of Jin and Geese. Risky lows. All his lows are punishable and so require commitment. Can struggle to open defensive opponents up with many moves being minus on block. Weak to both sides but exceptionally weak to sidestep right. Most of his strings are unsafe and especially dangerous against matchups who have a 14 frame launcher. No generic wall jump. Noctis's down forward 1 is at a standard 13 frames. It serves as a great mid-range poke with decent range. It being -1 on block makes it very easy to sidestep or backdash after to create space. The +7 on hit allows you to follow up with any move you wish. Keep in mind with good timing this move can be sidestepped either side, with it tracking slightly better to Noctis's left side. Pressing 4 adds a high delayable extension that can catch opponents that are too eager to retaliate. It is even more dangerous at walls as it can wall splat and is a great wall carry tool after a balcony break. Be careful of using this extension as it is highly predictable as it can be ducked and launch punished, but does jail on counter hit. Forward 2 is Noctis's signature warp strike. It has a massive range and knocks down for good Oki. Only misses when at max distance from your opponent. This move is a great whiff punisher, making it possible to punish moves that are generally difficult to punish. It is a special mid so it can be blocked standing and crouching, but is safe at -9. Be mindful that it is extremely linear so it can be sidestepped both sides and punished after Noctis rolls in. Still, the fact that this move exists means whiffing even short recovery moves can be potentially dangerous. Noctis's main close range counter hit fishing tool is up forward 1. It is moderately fast at 14 frames and on counter hit can launch for a combo. It is safe at -4 on block, but since it is a high it can be ducked and punished. This move is linear so it can be sidestepped either side. Forward 1+2 is one of Noctis's best approach tools, as it deals with his biggest weakness, 3-dimensional movement. It is a fast 15 frame homing move that leaves you at a very generous +10 on hit. It is a mid that is safe on block at -9 and the dash provides good range. Great at keeping your opponent at the wall as it also wall splats and launches on counter hit. Keep in mind it is very unsafe to whiff this move but is great to mix up with the next move. While running 1+2 is a high damaging natural hit launcher and is a great approach tool to use in conjunction of forward 1+2. This move has amazing range and can even hit grounded opponents. Noctis also gets slight evasion to lows while performing this move. It is +11 on block with a slight pushback, making forward 1+2 a great frame trap that will catch sidestepping and counter hit anything slower than 8 frames. It is a bit slow at 23 frames, difficult to execute at point blank range, and very linear so don't be too predictable. Sidestep 2 is a strong mid poke with good range. It is safe on block at 0 so can be very useful to scatter out your opponent's tendencies and then countering it once you have a good read. On hit it gives +5 frame advantage and leaves the opponent in crouch, allowing for further mix-ups or use of movement to create whiff opportunities. This move has good tracking due to its sidestep command, which helps it realign to your opponent. It can also hit grounded opponents except from most side angles. On counter hit, it knocks the enemy down, giving you a free down back 1+2. You can use this move often, but be aware that it is quite slow at 18 frames and has a long whiff animation. Forward 3 is a 16 frame safe mid unparable knee that tracks slightly to the left. It also nosebleed stuns on hit, giving Noctis a massive +9 frame advantage. Enemies can hold down when struck to fall back and negate the frame advantage, but Noctis can pick them up with down 2-2 for a combo. On block, it is -9, which loses your turn, but if your opponent tends to retaliate after blocking, you can use the 2 extension to cause them to whiff and counter hit them. Keep in mind, unlike forward 2, this 2 extension is punishable at -11 and is linear, so use sparingly. While standing 3 has almost the exact same properties, with the only difference is that it does 2 less damage and comes out 2 frames faster. Although full crouch down forward 2 is rather slow at 20 frames and punishable on block at -13, it is considered to be one of Noctis's best low moves as it deals a decent 17 damage, has great range and high crushes. Since Noctis uses his sword, you cannot low parry this move. It also tracks well, and only with good timing can you avoid it by sidestepping right. On hit, it gives +3 frame advantage and leaves the opponent in crouch. On counter hit, the opponent grabs their knee, giving Noctis +13. Keep in mind you only get +3 if the opponent is not facing Noctis. Although it is not strong enough to enforce a full crouch mix-up, you do have a few options if you have an opponent who is not respecting the frame advantage. While standing 3 is a safe mid, frame advantageous option. While standing 2-2 and up forward 3 for an unsafe mid launcher, up forward 1 for opponents who are looking to challenge you, and up forward 4 for a safe homing move but is high. You can also use another down forward 2 as it is very difficult to step a second one or to condition your opponent to start crouching, so you can use your mid launching options. Be mindful that these follow-ups have a low success rate against players with strong defense. And going up the ranks, more people will be respecting the frames and be looking to block punish, so scout before using. Down 1 is Noctis's replacement for a crouch jab. It is a great option to enter crouch. In addition, it is safe on block at -3 and gives +4 on hit. It can hit grounded opponents due to its large hitbox and has good tracking because of the second hit, but can still be sidewalked. It can even be used as anti-air, like countering Akuma's demon flip mix-ups. It's a great move, but be aware it is rather slow at 17 frames and has a long whiff animation. 1+2 is a high mid-string that homes and knocks down on hit, dealing 41 damage. It has a very large range, able to catch opponents at a distance. Noctis also moves forward when using this move. Although it is unsafe on block at -14, the second hit can be cancelled by holding back, making it -9, allowing for close range setups. Even though it is quite slow at 25 frames, down forward 1+2 is a great mid-long range keep out tool that knocks down and wall splats on hit. It is also safe at -9 and tracks slightly to the left. Using this move after a big launcher tailspins the opponent for a big damaging combo. 2-2 provides Noctis with an unparable mid string that is safe at -9. It gives +6 on hit, has a large hitbox, and has 3 unsafe extensions. Adding 2-2-2 will give you a high mid-ender that knocks down on the last hit, mainly used as wall carry as it is unsafe at -14. Using forward 2 after 2-2 will give you a mid that is useful against opponents trying to duck the high. It can also tailspin and wall splat. This string is also -14 on block. The last extension is back 2, exactly like the 2 extension of while standing 3 or forward 3, and should be used in a similar fashion, -11 on block. Down 3 is a decent low poke, although it's unsafe at -13. It is fast at 16 frames and is an alternative way of entering full crouch. This move also high crushes very early and has decent range. Down back 1+2 can be used as a fast mid-poke string. It is hit confirmable, deals good damage, and can hit grounded. Noctis can hold forward after down back 1 to go into his roll mix-up. It is safe on block at -8 and gives frame advantage on the second hit at +4. A great tool on grounded targets as it also picks them up but can be quite linear. Down 4-1-1+2 is Noctis's version of Demo Man. It is a low-high mid-string that knocks down on hit. Its main use is to be used at the wall or as a wall combo. It is a very risky string as the first hit is -31 on block and the last hit is -18 on block. It's not recommended to use this move in an open space as it requires Noctis to be very close to his opponent to get a clean hit on the low, which will then allow his follow-ups to be a natural combo. 1+2 complements this move well as the cancel is safe and will bring you closer to your opponent. Down back 2 is an unparable low poke that tracks slightly to the left. It's rather slow at 24 frames but deals good damage at 23. On hit it gives plus 4 frame advantage and leaves the opponent in crouch, while on counter hit it knocks down, giving a guaranteed down back 1+2. Noctis can also pick up opponents with down back 1, 1+2, but only works consistently against females, Noctis, Jack and Bears. It's not recommended to use this move too often, and especially offline, as it is launch punishable on block at -19, and as time goes on more players will be able to recognize and properly deal with it. Up forward 2 acts as Noctis' orbital heal. It is a safe 21 frame mid natural hit launcher that low crushes and is non-parryable. A slightly weaker version of his wall running 1+2, but is better at low crushing and tracks slightly to the left, but can still be easily sidewalked both ways. Forward 3+4 causes Noctis to do a forward roll that evades highs and has 2 unsafe extensions that can be used to open up a defensive opponent. 3+4 is a 20 frame sliding low that knocks down opponents, giving a free down back 1+2. The slide itself is -20 on block. The one extension is a 20 damaging mid that knocks down and wall splats opponents on hit. This string is -14 on block. Be careful using, as the roll can be jab floated and both follow-ups are punishable. Up forward 3 is Noctis' hop kick. It is 17 frames, has decent range, low crushes and launches for a combo. This move tracks slightly to the left and is punishable at -13 on block. Forward 1+2 is a long range 16 frame mid that knocks down and wall splats, dealing 24 damage. It is yet another move that is fairly linear but tracks slightly better to his left and is also -25 on block. At tip range, a generic down forward 2 will whiff, but most characters will have another punish as it is so negative on block. Forward 4 is a safe 17 frame mid poke with decent range that gives +8 on hit, fairly linear but tracks slightly to the right. It is -8 on block, which you can follow up with a 2 mid extension for opponents who want to attack right after blocking. Do know the extension gets beaten by jabs and generic down forward ones, but trades with 14 frames. If they try to sidestep or walk after blocking the forward 4, the 2 extension will track far to the left side, but will also catch sidestep right on large opponents like Gigas and Jack. The second hit also tailspins, wall splats, and is punishable at -11 on block. Forward 1+4 is Noctis' Power Crush. It is a 20 frame mid with good range and knocks down on hit for a guaranteed forward 1+2. Be mindful that it is another move that is -14 on block and therefore can be launch punished by some of the cast. Back 1+4 is a 26 frame mid that has a small punch parry window when used. On hit it deals 20 damage and knocks down the opponent face down, which you can then get a free down back 1+2. It is also a great move to cause a floor break. This move can be sidewalked but has good tracking against sidestep right, which is his weak side. It is also punishable at -11 on block. Down 2-2 is a low-high 20 frame string that has good tracking, is -9 on block and +10 on hit, tailspins and wall splats. Mostly used to pick up opponents in a combo, it can also be very useful to interrupt, as on counter hit is a natural combo and if only hit with a second hit, knocks them down for a combo. The second hit is a high, so be aware that players tend to buffer a crouch input and be looking to launch punish, use at own risk. Back turn 2 is a 20 frame safe mid launcher. Although it is rather niche, as Noctis' back turn stance is quite limited, it can be used occasionally to catch unsuspecting players. It is -9 on block and has decent range. Back turn stance can be entered by poking with back 4 or back 3 back hold. Back 4 has a 1+2 extension that can juggle on counter hit, but is also unsafe at -13. Noctis can also access a high poke, low poke, and his normal grabs in back turn. Use sparingly, as this setup is quite slow and Noctis' back turn is nowhere near as strong as other characters in the cast, leaving him quite vulnerable. Back 1+3 is Noctis' 3 frame unchickenable parry that works on punches and kicks. It's great for alleviating pressure, as Noctis does not have many tools in close range, but like most parries leaves you vulnerable and can be countered by lows and throws. Noctis has a generic rage art. It is a 20 frame mid dealing 55 damage and is highly punishable at -32 on block. Forward 2+3 is his rage art. It is a powered up version of his forward 2 with increased damage, speed and distance. Instead of being -9 on block, it is +2. It is great to use as a combo ender, as it can re-wall splat targets. At 10 frames we have 1-2-2. You can also use 1-2 for +6 frame advantage. At 12 frames you have back 1-2. At 14 frames we have back 3-1, which knocks down for a free down back 1+2 or back 3 back hold to enter back turn stance. At 15 frames we have down forward 2. It has amazing range, great for whiff punishment, and also one of Noctis' best move, but is launch punishable. Other whiff punishment options are forward 2 and down back 1+2. At 11 frames we have a generic while standing 4. At 13 frames we have while standing 1-2. The second hit can counter hit for a free down back 2. At 14 frames we have while standing 3-2. You can stop at 3 for plus 9 frame advantage. And finally at 15 frames we have while standing 2-2. Up forward 2, down back 1+2. While running 1+2 can all use the same combo. After launching you use a down forward 1+2 to screw, followed by a dash into a forward 2, and then a delayed 2, and end with a forward 4. Forward 4 provides the most damage with a back turned Oki. These combos have alternate endings for different situations. 2-2 back 2 provides good damage and a front facing Oki. Down back 1+2 is good for short range wall carry. And 2 spam for long range wall carry. Down forward 2 into 4-2. Delay 2, 1+2 to screw. Dash forward 4. Up forward 3 into while standing 3, 1 microdash 1+2 dash to forward 4. Back turn 2 into a down 2-2 dash 4-2 2-2-2. Down back 2 counter hit into down back 1+2 down 2-2 dash down forward 4 2-2. Down 2-2 second hit counter hit, dash, down forward 1 into a forward 2, delayed 2, 2-2 back 2. Up forward 1 counter hit into a sidestep right, down forward 1, 4-2, 2-2-2 to screw, 1 forward 4. Forward 1+2 counter hit, dash into down forward 4-2, 4-2, delayed 2, and then forward 1+2.